The song says, the song says, I want to live so that you can use me anywhere and anytime. The song says, I want to live so that you can use me anywhere and anytime. Use me, God. Evangelist, it said anywhere at any time. Use me, God. I want to live so, evangelist, that you can tell God to use you anywhere, anytime. And I know it's not written in the lyrics of the song, but what would go along with that would be any way. But you have to be in a place.
Come on. Yes, my God.
In God for that to take place, for God to be able to use you anywhere, anytime. So you couldn't be living a lifestyle that would be contrary to God if you wanted Him to use you. I was on the side note. I was on the computer last week, and I was watching this particular singer, Kim Burrell. She was talking to somebody, and she said in her music she's come to realize something. It's amazing sometimes, to me at least. Now I can hear people repeat things that I've said that I've never met and are nowhere in my atmosphere nor circle. But she said that she had to change what she called church. And she went on to talk about what that meant to her, but one of the things that she said that really stuck out to me along her explanation was she said the church has been wearing a mask for a long time. She said you can go to church hurt, leave church hurt, leave the church hurt, and as long as you have the mask on, everything is all right. And she went on to say that we need to go back old school and start having church for real. And if I could have said anything to her, I would have said this. The reason that the church has the mask on is not so much because of the parishioners, the people who are sitting in the pews. It's more so because of the ones that we have pushed up, the ones we have elected, and God has not called. We have many leaders in our churches that are fleecing men and women, God's men and women. They're using God's men and women. So they wear a mask in order to do that. Anything that you're attached to, if it's not right, then you become part of it.
Okay.
So what needs to get right in any church, Ms. Burrell, I would say, is leadership. Once we get that right, the church will line up.
That's right.
The scripture says it like this: it's my people that are called by my name.
All right.
We have many called, but they're not by his name. They're by an elected board. They're by next in succession. They're by, well, that was the Father, now let me give it to the Son.
All right.
But not necessarily called by his name. We have allowed Miss Burrell tradition to kill what God is doing in this time, day, and age.
Yes.
If tradition says otherwise, tradition outrules and overrules God.
Okay.
So what else could you put on but a mask that says on the outside everything's all right, but on the inside it's all tore up?
All messy. All messy.
So I just had to do that side note. I know she's not in my circle or anything, but it really touched me that I heard somebody of that caliber say, you know, we got to get things right.
Amen.
Another thing that has poked me in my side is that if we are going to be leaders of men and women of God, we've got to stop infighting amongst each other.
Yes, my God, my God. Yes, we do.
Listen, everybody's not going to agree with everything.
Yes.
Everybody's not going to walk with everybody. But what we got to do is be able to find common ground.
Yes, my
that
God.
we can walk together.
Amen, Pastor. Come
Well,
on.
the problem is if you're not doing it my way, then I'm going to speak against you.
My God.
I'm going to come against you. Listen, Jesus even said out of his own mouth, as long as they're calling on my name, then they're for you.
That's right.
May not be doing it the same way, may be believing a little bit different.
Come on in. Jesus.
You're going to know those who love God because their lifestyle is going to be a prominent leader in the gospel community get online during one of his tele-evangelist services and called another group of people out of character and out of name. If I got to tear you down to build me
Oh,
up,
my God.
listen, I can say I disagree with you and keep right on moving.
That's right.
I don't have to tear you down. Listen, I'm not going to win everybody in Jacksonville in this church. That's not even feasible nor possible. But there is a niche that's carved out that's going to walk with me. There's a niche for pastor. Next guy that's going to walk with him. Right before I get to it, I don't know what God is revealed it to me because the scripture says we prophesy in part and then we know in part. But I keep telling you that God is setting things in motion.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Some things I like and some I don't necessarily care for, but we have to walk with God and trust that God knows what he's doing. But Friday night got a weird situation transpired, I guess the word would be, and a friend of Minister Reed sent word back to me that she wanted me to talk with her husband. I don't know the woman, nor do I know the man. So, Friday night, Minister Reed called the man, called the woman, and she spoke with me briefly on the phone, and she said, I want you to talk to the husband. Evangelist, I gotta say it like this for understanding purposes. But with me at least, everything's not always as it appears. You would be surprised a lot of times things that you think I don't know. Just because I don't say nothing. God has allowed me the gift and ability to be able just to, scripture says it like this, teaching them to observe all things.
All right, all right.
So as soon as I got on the phone, because she was very short, not short being nasty, definitely not that. It was a different kind of short. And I had to talk to God real quick. Okay. All right. And so anyway, as soon as I heard his voice on the phone, I heard God use a word that he doesn't often use with me. And it was funny to me. And God went on to expound to me that he said, the gentleman you're talking to, he is a gatekeeper. I said, okay, I know what that means. I understand what that means. But I don't want nothing from him. God went on to tell me he's a gatekeeper. I know what that means, but it has no significance with me. That's all I would say. So as we went on to talk and whatever, and he asked me some questions. He's an apostle. He asked me some questions. As if I would do just to see where people are at in their knowledge, to see if you are who you say you are. And he ran me through my chest, I guess, on the phone, and I thought it was funny. Because I tell people all the time, I know who I am. So you nor offend me or nor do you make me upset. Because I can't deal with you checking into who I say I am. But maybe I'm not who I say I am.
Okay, come on.
So he went and proceeded to go through his little checks, and he would quote a scripture and say, what's the rest of it say? I would tell him. One of them kind of threw me off one, and I don't know about that one. And then he asked me about how long I've been in the platform, and I told him. He asked me something, I knew nothing what he was talking about. Or the way he was coming with it, I knew what he was talking about, but not the direction he was going with it. So I said, I don't know what's talking about. Never be afraid to tell somebody you don't understand. It's better to be truthful than have them think something about you that's not true. So then he says, well, I'm getting ready to start up this group that I had a while back, and I just want to see what you think about it. Again, I've never met this man before in my life, so I guess you can. I don't know. So he told me about the group and what they did before and different things and different agendas. And I said, he asked me would I come, and I said, yeah, I'll come. If there's knowledge to be learned, you know, hey, iron sharpens iron, and I don't know everything. I've said that many times. And then he kept asking the same question. What I couldn't understand why he would ask it in a different way, but it was the same question. So I said, listen, I would come, but I'm not going to necessarily expound anything. I would come to be more of a listener than a participator. And he asked me why. Oh, wait, to put out a place and I could call names, and that's fine. He said, well, what's next? Long story short, my teaching is so different that he said I'm a heretic. He said, oh, I didn't really find that too funny. He found it quite joyful. So when he stopped laughing, he said, well, I know you need to come to the meeting now. I said, well, why is that? He says, because of my teaching, I travel all over the world. And I sit with scholars. And they have also called me a heretic. But I still get invitations to go overseas all the time to write manuals, stuff you read today, you never know where it comes from. I said, well, okay. And he said, well, can you give me an example? I went in real brief and just gave him a real quick some answers. I mean, real short snippet. He started laughing. He says, yeah, I think you need to be in the meeting because what the meeting is about is we're not talking about church events. We're not talking about current church. What we're talking about is stuff that's not discussed in churches. Stuff that we need to go deeper about. I said, okay. He says, now, can I tell you something? I said, God wants me to tell you something. Okay, yes, sir. He says, you are an apostle. I said, yeah, I kind of already told you that. He says, now I need to explain myself. I said, okay. He said, you're also a prophet. I said, yeah, that's what a prophet is. He walks up and down a tree. He says, no, I'm not saying that. I said, well, what are you saying? And he said, I I just want to be a blessing to you. In whatever way I can do what God's about to be a part of, what God's going to be in your life. He says, but I just need to tell you this. He said, well, he said, God told me to tell you it's time for you to be revealed. He says, at your age, you know a lot. But now it's time for you to be exposed. He said, he used the word, I don't remember the word he used, it's not with me right now, but basically the word he used was saying it's time that, well, God has put me in an area where people are going to begin to listen to me in great multitude. That God is calling me before a lot of people. And he said, I just want to be an asset to you. That's the way we left the conversation. He gave me his number. Even that was a test. You're dealing with somebody that has a little bit of intelligence. Even that was a test, but he said, yeah, you're getting ready to be exposed to the word. So, I said, well, bless the Lord. So he's going to come out and speak with us. We want to see how that works. Amen.
Amen.
Let's turn to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 through 22. In God, evangelists, there is something called seasons, and then there's also something called timing. If you step outside of your season, you step outside of your timing. It was revealed to me at a very early age that God was going to call me to be a pastor. Now, even though Sister Dunbar, I had that calling to become something in God, that this does not mean that I was called. Calling and called is two different things. Calling is your preparation stage. Called, C-A-L-L-E-D, is your forefront stage when you are operating in. What we have, Brother Williams, is a lot of people that have tapped into what they were calling was, but they have not been called to operate in it as of yet. So therefore, they have stepped outside of timing or outside of season. Sister Roberts, it's God that we get the anointing from. It's God that we get the power from. It's God that we get the direction from. So when we step outside of God, when we step outside of timing, season, the reason there is no power in some of our leaders is because they heard a word, it tickled their ears, they took off and running, and they got the idea, look at me. So you have to get to a point where you know who you are in God. And if people buffet you, push up against you, as long as you know what you're doing in God, it should not. The reason you get upset is because you know you misstepped. When I was in the military, and I was what we call, I was in USN, so we called the boot camp, or group of people, we call a company. And it will be 80 of us well, my company, it was 80 of us. And we all had to march. And the ones in the middle, if they all stepped, they threw off the ones in the back, which then threw off the one, everybody was out of step. So we literally had to stop, regroup, start back over again to get back in step. Why are you talking about that, Apostle? The reason Apostle was talking about that is because when you step out of order, you're going to have to stop, regroup, and get back in line.
Okay.
You can't just say, well, yeah, I was called, and I stepped, well, I'm just going to keep going, God will catch up. No. It don't work that way. You stepped outside of God. Scripture says it like this, Sister Robert. Many are called, but few are chosen. Then the other scripture says like this, Brother Williams says, God has no respecters of persons. It was amazing to me. It actually kind of shocked me. You want to know, evangelist, why our church is out of order? It's because our leaders are out of order. And we're scared to say anything because we feel like we're going to hurt somebody's feelings or they're not going to like us. I made a phone call to a fellow pastor of mine to relay a message about another pastor. And I said, you can use my name. The apostle big enough. It don't matter. If I said it, I said it. And I said, you need to fix it before it goes down. Because you're there. And I'm making you aware of it. This pastor said back to me, well, I'm not going to do that because I don't want that person we were talking about to A, get upset, or if they don't accept what God is saying, then I'm not the one to tell them to go the other way. What do you mean you're not the one? You are a pastor. If the pastors don't do correction, then who is? Especially if you've been a pastor for multiple years and the one that's coming up doesn't have full stability yet, you have to stabilize. And it threw me, Sister Dunbar, that if we say we're not responsible for somebody else that's coming up under us, not necessarily up under us, but up under in the ranks that we are in the ranks of, so we just gonna let this person keep walking astray and we know it. We know it. Well, if that's the way they say they are, that's it. I don't care what they say. If they wrong, they wrong. Whether you accept the sky is blue or not, you can call it red all day long. But if it's blue, then it's just blue. It don't matter. Wrong is just wrong. And right is just right. But we as leaders are scared to say anything.
Jesus, you better come on, Holy Ghost. You better speak it.
And we try to understand and why God is not using us and why God is not allowing us to grow, because in our seasons of growth and our time of growth, it's simply because when we come to a hard place where things begin to challenge us, now we say, well, she be all right. No, she ain't going to be all right, because it's your job to bring correction. It's your job to bring reproof. If you're going to walk up under a title in a season, then you're going to have to do what it says.
That's right. You better come on. Speak, Holy Ghost.
I'm talking about a pastor that's been pastoring for well over 10, 15 years, don't want to correct a pastor that's just learning. So what that says to me is, yes, she may not be right, but she'll learn. So ministry, this is why God has me in a different realm of apostleship, because I deal with the hard stuff. Now everybody gonna deal with the hard stuff. You know why? Because they want to be liked.
Okay.
They want to be liked. They want to have. From the apostleship, we deal with everything. We're talking about and seasons.
Woo, Lord Jesus. Lord have mercy. Lord, walk with you, Lord. Walk with you.
Don Lawrence has a song that says, I feel seasons everywhere and I feel blessings in the air. Those seeds that you sown, you're going to come into your own season. Walk into your season. One of the other verses says, I believe we're in a time when God's going to bless the saints. Those who have stayed, those who have prayed, He's going to fulfill the promises He made. For I heard the Spirit say, it's your time. The wait is over. Walk into your season. Those who have stayed, those who have prayed. Why would He put in the lyrics, Sister Dunbar, those who have stayed?
Because of what they're going through, they still praise God in the midst of what they were going through.
Because of whatever they were going through, they still stayed with God.
Amen.
Job said it best. He said, though you slay me, yet I'm going to trust you.
My God.
Listen, I lost everything I got. But listen,
Okay.
I'm not even giving no credit to Saint, though you slay me. Because, listen, he couldn't have done it without your permission.
That's right.
So, though you slayed me, yet I'm on. And because of my trust in you, it changed my season.
Come on.
So, for everything that I lost, God provided multiples back.
Yes.
Because I was in love with you.
Okay.
Even ones that told me to walk away and quit and give up. I didn't listen to the ones that was talking in my ear. I listened to you.
Come on, Jesus. Yes, Lord.
Because see, if I had listened to them, it would have caused me to step outside of season. It would have caused me to step outside my season because they were buffeting my flesh. I mean, one of his friends told him, curse God and die. Give up. Why you got to go through all of this? I bet the other friend told me, God loved you, He wouldn't allow you to go through this. It didn't say that in there. I'm saying, I'm just imagining. Whatever they were saying to him, I know it was to please his flesh. And as long as you're seeking to please your flesh, you're never going to grow.
That's right.
So even through all of that, Job said, though you slay me, yet I'm going to trust you. Though you slay me, yet I'm going to trust you.
All right, come on.
We don't even have real leaders anymore. Can't even, I remember, I didn't understand it back then, but I understand it now. Pay attention to me, leaders, because it's going to be happening over here. But one thing I will not have is a leader that's up under me that is not prepared by God, because then I got to answer God. So pay attention to me, leaders. We used to do something in COVID, COGIC, the church, the organization I came out of, raised in for multiple years. We used to do something in there called popcorn. And I hated, especially when I got a little older, popcorn. And the pastor would get up, he would literally walk up to his kitchen with his Bible books or whatever, and he'll begin to read something. He'll look up and he'll say, you teach the rest of that, go sit down. And you had to know what he was teaching. He give you 5 minutes to expound on it. And you couldn't go up and be like, you're going to get sat down and a little quick. They call it popcorn. But you had to pop right up. And you couldn't come up there and expound on what you wanted, something you're prepared. Yeah, that's easy. No, he said, open the Bible up, start teaching. Oh, you finish the rest of that. You may not even study that book. You may not even know who wrote, but study to show thyself approved, working right. So I used to carry, man, look here. Well, I was one of the younger ones, and I very seldom got called on. Thank you, Holy Ghost. But the older men, women leaders, the only reason I got called on was because I had a Sunday school class. And I already knew on Sundays he wasn't going to call. I just knew that. I never got called on Sunday. But I knew on a Friday night, I tried to stay downstairs. Especially when he got ready to preach, I always had to go to the bathroom downstairs. I just knew we were going to call. You could just feel it in the air. I got called so many times on Friday night. I come upstairs in the bathroom, everybody looking at me, coming, they waiting on you. Waiting on me. You can run. So leaders, we were there. God brought back the memory. I believe we're in a time when God's going to bless the saints. Those who have stayed, those who have prayed, He's going to fulfill the promise that He made. Sister Dunbar, just think rhetorically, what promises that God has made for you that you have to prepare for, and your preparation time is your staying time. I'm not going to grow in God if I keep on running from God. Nobody said that this way would be easy. But He did say, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He never said that it was going to be a bed of roses. But He did say that I'm a strong tower. And those that you can run into me. He did say, call upon me while I'm close to you. But He never did say it's going to be easy. Sister Robert, what you got? Gotta be prepared, baby. Brother Williams, what you got? Stand up. Read.
Romans 2,
What's it say?
For God shows no respect, for all who sin without the law will all perish without the law, and all who have sinned under the law will be judged by the law.
Okay. That's using the word respect. That's the wrong scripture for attention to what I said. I said that God has no respect for mercy.
I had it. I think it was 10.
Come on. Take peace.
Many are called, but few are chosen.
Matthew 22 and 14. Say it louder for me so they can hear you.
Many are called, but few are chosen.
Many are called, but F-E-W, few are chosen. I just have a general question. Just a general question. Evangelist, no, I'm going to take it back. Let's make a statement. I have a general statement. Change the question to a statement. We must be a awesome city that God loves because he sent all the chosen ones to Jacksonville. So we sure got a lot of churches. Yeah. Okay. Many are called, but few. Brother Williams, what you got?
Acts 10 and 34.
There it is. Acts 10 and what?
34.
34. What's it say?
Then Peter opened his mouth and said, Of a true, I perceive that God is no respecter of persons.
Peter said, I can perceive, and perceive means to know that God has no respecter of persons. Young, old, male, female. He'll use who he want to use. He'll call who he want to call. Let's go to 2 Kings. I really thought I was going to get through this a little faster, but okay. Let's go to 2 Kings. Y'all still keep Ecclesiastics, keep a bookmark in that. So we definitely going to be going back to that. But anyway, 2 Kings chapter 2. I heard somebody say, Minister Reed, that they can't really get with a church where the pastor doesn't hoop and holler every day. And or not every day, every service. And my question to that was, well, what do you learn? And they just stare. You can't really get no answer, just stare there. You know, there is a season for that. There is a time for that. But your church should not be based on that. If what if you get a sore throat and you can't move, then we can't have church? Y'all better quit messing with people. Evangelists. You first got to become a teacher before you can become a hooper, because if you don't have nothing to teach you, ain't got nothing to hoop. So let me learn before I try to holler. But if I holler without learning anything, I'm just full of hot air. Oh, you know what I'm thinking. Praise the Lord. Second Kings chapter 2. Everybody feel good this morning?
Amen.
I have a good time. Enjoyed myself on yesterday. Going out of town.
Wow.
It was unique.
Yes, it was.
Found out that people will eat themselves to the point they can't walk. And I also, Sister Dunbar, found out that when people eat, they walk much slower. I'm trying to figure out what the world is. Remind me of the turtle and the hare race. I mean, they was very moving. Come on, you got to get it. You gotta have a gym on the church. You gotta put a gym. Gotta put a gym in the church. Amen. Come on, come on. 2 Kings chapter 2 says, I'm reading out the Amplified. It says, when the Lord was about to take Elijah, J.A.H., up to heaven by a whirlwind, Elijah and Elisha, S-H-A, you got Jah and Shah, S-H-A, were traveling from Gilgal. And Elijah said to Elisha, please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Bethel. Elisha replied, as the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you. So he went down to Bethel. Now the sons of the prophets who were at Bethel came out to Elisha and said to him, do you not know the Lord will take your master away from you today? He said, yes, I know. Be quiet about it. Don't say nothing about it. You said, I know you said, well, Apostle, what does this story have to do with timing? What does this story have to do with season? Well, then we have to come to the next part of timing and seasoning, which is being in the right place at the right time and in the right season.
That's right.
Elijah and Elijah was a prophet, and Elisha was a prophet. But Elisha, S-H-A, was a prophet. I guess you can kind of say under training under Elijah. Elijah, J.A. taught Elijah everything. And he worked and he walked with him. Wherever J.H. went, S-H-A went. If J.A.H. made a move, S-H-A knew about it. Now, at the time, S-H-A was not in operation of the gifts. J-H was in operation of the gifts. But S-H-A knew that if he stayed with J-A-H long enough, it would become his time.
That's right.
S-H-A didn't get the big head and say, you know what? You go your way and I'm going to win the win, spend enough time with that.
All right.
4. And Elijah said to him, Elijah, please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Jericho. But he said, as the Lord lives and your soul lives, I will not leave you. So they came to Jericho. Can I just share this with you? I do believe that Elijah, being a prophet, knew that his time was coming to an end. This is not scriptural, this is revelation. So I believe he was putting S-H-A through his paces. to see if you will walk away. Isn't it amazing, Sister Dunbar, that we will walk away right before God getting ready to move us? We done fought years upon years, and right before God getting ready to move us, I quit. Really? You done gone 5 years of teaching and training, and you gonna walk away from it? Right before God get ready? Really? Quit? Oh, no. You know how many pastors I had to go through? The churches I was involved with, teaching and training, multiple years. I can remember the last major ministry that I was attached to. All I ever did as an elder in it was have the Sunday school class. And I was just the teacher of the class. I wasn't even the Sunday school superintendent. First one to church on Sunday morning to unlock the doors, make sure the church is right. Then the people from Sunday school that are in my class would trickle in. Then the superintendent would trickle in. And then they would have Sunday school. And then when they went through their little protocol, they would always call him up like he did everything. But eventually, I had to wait and abide my time. It's kind of like God told Moses, listen, I'm on the backside, you're on the backside of the mountain, but as I pass by, I will cause you to be able to see my glory, but you got to abide your time. My glory is going to shine on you if you stay in preparation long enough. There's no way you're going to take an egg out of the refrigerator, put it in water, and turn the stove on, walk to the back of your house, come back to the front, take it out of the water, and crack it open and expect it to be a hard-boiled egg. It's going to take some time. So there's no way you're going to start off in God at the top. It don't work that way. Now, can God use anybody? Absolutely. Can God call anybody? Absolutely. But then you have to go through some kind of teaching process, some training process. But the same gift you have, he gave to somebody else that has went through that process, that somebody has spent some time with them. And it's ongoing and it's ongoing and perpetual. That means it's constant. I told this one lady, and she looked at me kind of funny. God sent her to the place where I work. She said, they called me pastor. I said, well, what do you call yourself? She said, I don't know. I said, well, don't you think we need to figure that out before we do anything? She said, well, I preach. I said, well, okay, I don't know. They ain't preaching. What are you called to do? And she got the strangest look in her face. I said, I'll tell you what, before we get this conversation any further, how about you do this? Find out who I am. And you say you hear God? She said, yeah, I hear God. I said, this is what I want you to do. But I ain't scared of your face. You don't walk up on the right one. She said, what does that mean? I said, that means you say you hear God. She said, yeah. I said, my name is J.L.REED. You go to God and call my name out. Tell you about it. Then you come back and talk. She said, I ain't never had nobody tell me that. I said, that's because I ain't scared of nobody. I know who I am. She just looked at me with strangers looking at her face. Okay. So we had to be in a place of preparation. And even in your preparation, that's part of your season. So we think the season is just the other side of it. No, you're in your season when you're being prepared. It's just another part of your season. Elijah said to Elijah, please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Jericho. But he said, as the Lord lives, as your soul lives, I will not leave you. So they came to Jericho. 5. The sons of the prophets who were at Jericho approached Elijah and said to him, do you know that the Lord will take your master away from you today? And when it says master, what word is using? We're not talking about bond and free. It's not using that type of word as master. It's using the type of word, Sister Dunbar, that sometimes we got to get really understand about what is teacher. It's not like a bond servant and bond servant and a master kind of relationship. No, it's talking about teacher. You're very correct. Thank you. I will take your master away from you today. I will take your teacher away from you today. And he answered, yes, I know it. Be quiet about it. 6, Elijah said to him, please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Jordan. But he said, as the Lord lives, as your soul lives, I will not leave you. So the two of them went on. So Elijah, SHA says, listen. You ain't got to keep trying to push me away, because I ain't going away. You move, I move. You turn right, I turn right. You go to Jericho, I go to Jericho. You go to Bethel, I go to Bethel. You go to Jordan, I go to Jordan. Wherever you go, when you turn around, I'm going to be standing right there looking at you. When you walk out the door, I'm walking out the door. So Elijah, SHA, is let JAH know that because you are my teacher and I know God has sent me here, until I'm released from this assignment, hello somebody, until I'm released from this assignment, I'm going to be right here. Watch this. Can I give you some revelation now? Sister Dunbar. How is God going to release you from your assignment when you haven't even fully prepared what your assignment was? Hello somebody.
You better come on here.
How am I saying it? My season is up when I'm not even completed what I was supposed to be doing in the first place. No, the reason my time and season up, as I say, is because now you get in my business. Now you causing some heartache, some pain. And listen, time brings about a change. So as you grow in God, everything is not always going to be easy. But listen, even if it's not easy, listen, if you go to Jericho, guess where I'm going? I might be mad at you, I might be upset with you, but guess what? When you step out the car in Jericho or the chain, whatever it is, I'm coming too.
Hello. Yes, sir. Make some room with the coming.
So a lot of times, we call our assignment done because of our flesh when God hasn't even finished the assignment yet. How are we able to call it done before God calls it done?
All right.
And I'm not ashamed to say it, but you know, I get the phone calls all the time. They say, and I say it out of love, so no disrespect in it, but also I feel like God's leading me to go a different direction. And I feel like I'm not growing, so I'm not learning, so I need to move on. Okay, well, good. And then I call you, and I find out where you done moved on to. Well, I'm not really going anywhere. I'm waiting on God to tell. So wait a minute. Your assignment with me is over, but he called you to the apartment. How you gonna sit here and tell me that you're not learning from me? So he stopped your assignment to call you to sit at the house.
Come on now.
But I'm the one that'll tell you that's retarded.
Come on now.
I'm not calling you retarded. What I am saying, the decision you made was retarded.
That's right.
Apostle, I feel like it's time for me to leave you. You know, it's always those that want to leave after I get on.
That's right.
So you can, leaders, you have to become leaders with thick skin and not be leaders that so easily swayed with your flesh.
All right.
Listen, if you are doing what God is telling you to do, you have to do it, of course, with tact. And you also definitely have to do it with respect.
Yes.
But that does not necessarily mean what you say the people are not going to like.
That's right.
And they might come back and buff it up against you. But guess what? That's okay. You can say whatever you want to say about me.
That's okay.
I'm one of those that, listen, if you got something to say, come on. No, we ain't got to talk, just bring it. Because I guarantee you, when you get done saying what you say, the Holy Ghost is going to get you.
Amen.
Says this. The sons of the prophets also went and stood opposite of them to watch at a distance, and the two of them stood by the Jordan. Elijah, J.H., took his mantle and rolled it up and struck the water, and they were divided this way and that way, so that the two of them crossed over on dry ground.
All right.
So the two they're talking about is S-H-A and J-E-A. They were, J-A-H, excuse me, they were getting ready to walk over the river Jordan, a little brook, stream, and I guess it was deep or whatever. He took his cloak and he struck it, and then God caused the water to dry up so they could walk across onto dry ground. Y'all with me on that one, okay? 9, then it says, and when they had crossed over, J.H., Elijah said to S-H-A, Elijah, ask what I shall do for you before I am taken from you. So, see, I kind of show you some revelation knowledge in that. Remember, J.H. asked him 3 times, or told him 3 times, you stay here. And each time he said, no, I'm going with you. So then we have 9, is if you really begin to look at it, this, that S-H-A knew that it was his time. Because he says, ask what you do before I am taken from you. We'll go all the way back to 9. And when they had crossed over, Elijah said to him, S-H-A, ask what I shall do for you before I am taken from you. So in other words, he says, you already know I'm getting ready to go. But what is it that you want? Because my teaching is coming to a close now. You want to start standing on your own. Before I leave here, what is it that I can finally do for you? And I asked you 3 times, and you stayed right with me. Ask what I shall do for you before I am taken from you. And Elijah said, please let a double portion of your spirit be upon me. 10. He said, you have asked a difficult thing. However, if you see me when I am taken from you, it shall be so for you, but it shall not. If not, it shall not go. Now, why did he put it there? Right there, he says, if you see me when I'm taken from you. Why did he say that? Why was the condition on the spirit, the double portion of J.H.'s spirit going on S.H.A.'s life? Why was it important that he put that clause in and said, if you see me taken away, then that's going to happen? Why do you think he told you that? It's 2 reasons. One reason is J.H. has in some ways confirmed that J.H. has kind of confirmed S.H.A.'s anointing and mantle. So he knows he's called to be a prophet. He knows he's gifted. So because of that, he could have just said, you know what? You about to leave, so I might as well go on my way. Not necessarily give up, but I've come to the end of it. And you about to leave here, so what else can you teach me? So So if you will see me when I'm taken up, has the secondary purpose is to the only way he could have seen him taken up by the whirlwind is if he was there. And if he's there, that means he's completing his teaching, his assignment, his time. I got to complete one season before I even try to go into a next season. Now, if he had not been there, this season wouldn't have been like it would have been because it wouldn't have been completed. As they continued along the talk, and behold, a chariot of fire with horses of fire appeared to him, and suddenly separated the two of them, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. Now that's a way to go right now. That God sent chariots to come get you.
Wow.
That in itself is, I can stay there all day. That's bad. You know what I'm saying? God sent chariots of fire.
Wow.
And then watch this. Chariots of fire with horses appeared suddenly and separated the two of them. So J.H. seen it and S.H.A. seen it. That I come to get my servant. So when people tell me that the apostle, they say, well, everybody has to die. No, because it never said he died. It said he was taken up. Pay attention to the word. Okay, so watch this. Separated the two of them, and Elijah went up into heaven in a whirlwind. 12, S.H.A. now, saw it and cried out, my father, the chariot of Israel and its horsemen. And he no longer saw Elijah. Then he took hold of his own clothes and tore them into pieces in grief. 13. He picked up the mantle of Elijah and fell on him. If he had not been there, then the mantle would have went somewhere else. He picked up the mantle of Elijah that fell off him, and he went back to and stood by the bank of the Jordan. So he went back to Jordan, because he crossed over Jordan where all this happened. And listen, I'll say this for the sake of teaching. J.H. Elijah knew because of the anointing that he had that everybody couldn't walk with him. But God had a man, S.H.A., that stayed and walked with him. And because S.H.A. honored J.A.H., God blessed him. Because he stayed. Watch this. In modern times, S.H.A. was J.A.H.'s armor bearer.
Wow.
Listen, you wasn't going to mess with the man of God as long as S.H.A. was around. And he was around all the time. Because that was his master, his teacher. So if y'all ever wonder why, it's going to happen eventually. But some things I can hold up, some things I can't. But it reminds me of a story that I taught Lady Reed many years ago. I'll be moving ahead of myself a lot of times. And the gentleman asked, I carry your bag, and I told him no. And she was like, how'd you let her carry? I said, no. She got mad at me. I don't know that man carrying my bag. I carry my own bag. Not that I'm better than anybody else, but everybody can't walk with me. Not that I'm trying to set myself above anybody else. I be playing with teacher Sister Dunbar all the time, excuse me. I be playing with Sister Dunbar all the time. But in in every joke there's a reality of truth. And she'll come in my room and she'll say, I need to tell you something. I got a question. I look at the clock and I say, listen, the apostle is off the clock. I'm not talking to you right now. She says, stop playing. I can't talk to you. I said, no, not talking. She go to laugh. I said, see, you have an advantage. You live with the apostle. Everybody can't be around. And she don't say it as much as she used to, but it'd be funny to me. She'll say something. I get a weird look on my face. She said, stop using your gift. You can't. That's why nobody can do nothing for you, because you be knowing stuff. I said, no, I can just know stuff. God has to tell me. But you can't have everybody. 14. Let's go back to 13. He picked up the mantle of Elijah and it fell off him, and went back and stood by the bank of the Jordan. He took the mantle of Elijah that fell from him and struck the waters and said, where is the Lord, the God of Elijah? And when he too had struck the waters, they divided this way and that, and Elijah crossed over. Do y'all see anything significant about that? Exactly. And what does that teach us? I'll say it a little louder. They didn't hear you, man.
He did the same thing his master did.
He did his very first miracle. S-H-A was the very last miracle J.A.H. did. So in other words, if you say who you are as far as a leader and you're sitting up under another leader, then you should begin to do things and operate the same way that your leader is operating. And that works whether it's good. So if my leader has a spirit of anger, this thing will teach itself. You just take time out to learn.
Yes.
15. When the sons of the prophets who were watching opposite Jericho saw him, they said, the spirit of Elijah rests on Elijah. This is where I get that I don't have to be announced when I walk in. Here comes the pastor. Jesus said it like this, Minister Reed. He said it like this, the only way you could have known that unless my Father revealed it. So the sons of the prophets that was watching the cross, seeing what was happening, why were they watching? Because when God gonna do something in your life, he gonna make sure everybody knows. So when S.H.A. showed up, Sister Dunbar, they understood, hey. His name might say S.H.A., but he walking in the spirit of J.A. So you're going to have to give him the respect you gave J.A. Because he's walking in the same power and authority. And they came to meet him and bowed down to the ground before him in respect. 16, then Elijah, behold, now there are among your servants 50 strong men. Please let them go and search for your master. It may be that the Spirit of the Lord has taken him up and cast him on some mountain or into some valley. And he said, you shall not send anyone. But when they urged him until he was embarrassed to refuse, he said, send them. So they sent 50 men, and they searched for 3 days, but did not find Elijah. 18. Then returned to Elijah while he was staying in Jericho and said to them, did I not tell you, do not go? So they tell him that he's walking in the spirit of Elijah, J.H. in the beginning, right up there on what verse was that? Verse 15. So then we get down to verse 17. They want to sit down a search party to look for J.H., but they think he's just up in a mountain somewhere. But they see what happened. It's not you for you to prove anything. God will do all the proving. It's for you to walk in it, Sister Minister Reed. They see God on it. It said it right there in 15. You walking in the spirit of Elijah. They said it in 15. But they're going to try him in 17. So just because you walking in God don't mean people ain't going to try it.
Okay.
The very ones that seen it tried. And the man of God told him, said, don't go. You wasting your time. God is taking him. But they kept nagging. And eventually the man of God, SHA, said, okay, go ahead, waste your time. Then we get on around in 18, and he said to them, did I not tell you, do not go? So that's why I tell you all the time. I said, if I tell you something, I'm not just wasting my time. A lot of times we miss because we don't act. We miss because our heart ain't in it. We don't believe. Because we're trying to operate out of intellect and not out of spirit. 19. Then the men of the cities said to Elijah, look, this city is an unpleasant place, as my lord Elijah sees, but the water here is bad and the land is barren. And he said, bring me a new jar and put salt in it. So they brought it to him. Then Elijah went to the spring of the water and threw the salt in it and said, thus says the Lord, I not the salt have purified and healed these waters. There shall no longer be death or barrenness because of it. So the waters have been purified to this day in accordance with the word spoken about Elijah. What do you notice there? To help you out. Minister Reed, what you notice there is signs and wonders shall follow them that do believe. If they're working in my name, you gonna know it. You gonna know it.
Okay.
And 23 through 25, y'all can read on time, but that's when they went out and mocked Elijah with the bears. And I think it said in King James, the she-bear came and ate them up. See, you trying to fight your battle, tell everybody who you are in God and how bad you are. You ain't got to do all of that. You know why? Because God gonna take care of it for you.
That's right.
God gonna take care of it for you. God gonna take care of it for you. God gonna take care of it for you. I learned, it took me a while to get to one. Ministry and evangelism. I just be quiet and watch. How am I going to hear God if both of us talking?
Okay.
You can't hear if you're talking. You can't understand if you're talking. So I watch. I listen. What's going on? What's happening? This is the beginning of today's lesson. We find SHA had to be in a certain place at a certain time in order for him to begin his public ministry, which then he performed that first miracle at the River Jordan, just like J.H. did. But he had to stay with him until the end, until the time for him to move. You have to wait on your time. Ecclesiastes, what time is it? Speaking of time. Oh, used to read the book. Ecclesiastes 2:22. Yes, sir.
And you say, read one.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 through 22. Yes, ma'am. For everything, there is a season. Is that what it's saying? For everything, there is a season. I was going to run through this, but God said, teach it. Can I get that in? Your spirit, Sister Dunbar. For everything, there is a season. Evangelist, for everything, there is a season. Minister, for everything, there is a season. Can I share this with you? One season will end, and a new one will begin. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Stay in Ecclesiastes, go to 1 verse 5. 1 and 5. Sister Roberts, what it say? Gotta be prepared. Stand up, we can hear you.
A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together.
That's 1 and 5?
So 1 and 5.
Uh-huh.
So 1 and 5.
Chapter 1,
I got it.
verse 5. Chapter 1, verse 5. Chapter 1.
I know this is
That, but you're reading. Can't blame. See, let's stay right, stop right there. Listen, no, stop. Let's teach him on. I said, Sister Robert, you read it incorrectly. So what do? We blame it on somebody else. My preparation does not depend on what somebody else do. My preparation depends on what I do. So when I'm not prepared when God calls, it's not because of somebody else. When a doctor calls her and says, listen, I want you to come work for me, but when you come, bring your certificates. If she sits at the house and doesn't go take the state exam after she's been to school and does not get her certificate, when opportunity calls, you got to be prepared. You can't say, well, I this and well, I that. No. I missed because I didn't allow my preparation time. Because old school church, I love saying old school church, they said, when opportunity knocks. I missed my blessing because I did not prepare myself in the season of preparation. So instead of me not being prepared, I say, pull an Adam experience and say, God, this woman that you gave me. No. When are we going to stand up before God and say, the reason I missed it is because I had time. I was not prepared. We make up a lot of excuses for a lot of things. Then that begs the question for me, how angry are we making God? Just rhetorical thought. I have thoughts like that. How angry are we making God? If He keeps on cycling blessings my way, and I keep on rejecting blessings because of being slowful or being not prepared or not even caring. Where is the fine line, rhetorical, where God loves you and then God begins to send His wrath on you? Where is that line at? We don't know. So why do we play with it? Listen, I don't know why this came up the way I seen it when I said it, but this is the way God just showed me in the spirit. We played a game when we was kids. It was stupid, but we played a game called chicken. And we used to run across the street in traffic. Listen, you may make it 1 or 2 times, but you're not going to make it every time.
That's right.
Listen, even Vegas will let you know that sometimes the odds are going to be against you. Thank you, Holy Ghost. So sometimes you're going to keep playing long enough. Mama used to say it like this: if you play with fire long enough, so your preparation is due to you. Leaders. All right, Sister Roberts, are you ready?
The sun rises and the sun sets, that hasten to the place where it rises.
The sun rises and the sun sets. I didn't hear nothing else after that.
The sun rises and the sun goes down, and haste to the place where it rises.
So the sun returns where it came from. What's 6 saying?
The one goes to the south and it goes to the north, and around the one goes.
What's 7 saying?
All streams run to the sea, but the sea cannot be full. The place where the streams flows, and they flow again. All things were full of awareness, and they cannot utter it. The eyes is not satisfied with them seeing, nor the ears filled with hearing.
No, it's 7. So, Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, for everything there is a season. Then we get into Ecclesiastes 1:5-7, and it says seasons run in cycles. We just got done talking about that. When it comes around, you've got to be prepared. So, if I can say anything to you today, if anything sticks out of everything we have read, said, and done, is that I got to be prepared when my season comes around. And you running from your season don't change your season. I need to write that one down for myself.
Say that again.
You running from your season does not change your season. Because that just simply means you're not prepared in your season. Brother Williams, scripture says it like this: we shall reap a harvest of blessings if we faint not in due season. So not every season is due. But while I'm waiting on my due season, I cannot give up, which is the faint not part. I might have to go through Ecclesiastes 1, several cycles of seasons before my due season shows up. But when my due season shows up, I got to be prepared and grasp a hold of my due season.
That's right.
The reason I'm not where I am is because I've allowed my season to pass, or my opportunity to pass. You never know who's paying attention to you. You never know who's watching you. But you got to allow your season to grasp a hold of you. But you got to be prepared for your season. No, let's do it out of Amplified. You got it? I forwarded it back.
Galatians 6 and 9. Let us not grow weary or become discouraged in doing good. For at the proper time we will reap if we do not give in.
You shall reap if you don't give up. And it said at the proper time, and the King James says the appointed time. Evangelist, there's an appointed, read what chapter verse is that?
Galatians 6 and 9.
Galatians 6 and 9. Galatians 6. Listen, I done missed it because I gave up. I love this one, Minister Reed. I love this one. But take this as a teacher moment. Well, they don't do it for me like they do it for you. You the apostle. I'm walking in my season. What you walking in? Everything you try ain't always gonna work. That don't mean I don't need to give up and stop doing it. Maybe I just have to do it a different way. Appointed time, due season. Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 22. For everything there is a season. I don't know why. I looked up an evangelist and I just heard God say there's even a season where people are going to walk out your life. Because your next season can't come until they're gone.
Jesus, thank you, Lord, for confirmation. Thank you, Lord. Ooh, Lord, because you think I be crazy, but I
Yes.
Yes, Lord.
I'm really trying to read the rest of this,
Come on, Lord.
but it's not working for me.
Speak to Jesus.
Trying, I done read this thing 5 times, but he just keep carrying me back to the beginning of it. For everything, I don't know what God is doing or trying to say, but let this sink in for somebody. For everything, I guess you just got to tell yourself, for everything, there is a season. Listen, I'm not always going to be here. There is a season. If it's not working where I'm at right now, I gotta understand that I just got to stay here until my appointed time and my due season. Come on, somebody. I heard a preacher say the other day that he had been in ministry 12 years, opened up his church, and it was nobody but him and his wife, and all of a sudden it looked like overnight his church went from 2 husband and wife to 200.
My God.
He said he had been in ministry almost 12 years. But he stayed faithful, waiting on his due season, getting made, getting prepared. But we don't want to stay and wait on our preparation time. We want microwavable seasons. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. But everything, there is a due season. Question is, while I'm in my preparation season, am I patient waiting on my due season? My due season. Listen, I got to have in my mind that my right now is not my next season. My right now is just what I said right now. Listen, Minister Reed, it's not always going to be like this. You know why? Because it says right here, for everything there is a season. There's a season for right now, and there's a season for future. But while I'm in my right now, I'm going to do everything to prepare for my next season. I'm not going to throw away a season because it's not what I want. It don't look like what it should be for me. It don't look like what I should feel. But I'm going to operate within my season. Thank you, Holy Ghost. I don't know why I'm saying this, but God just brought it to memory. And listen, I'm not saying this to say as mighty rushing wind, we above anybody. We just a church that God called from. But I had a prophet tell me some time ago. He pulled me outside and said, "Man of God, can I tell you something?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I just want to tell you this to encourage you, not to give up." She said, "You see all these churches up and down the street? The storefront she was talking about." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Listen, God gonna set it up where you gonna take over this whole entire block. And ain't none of these churches gonna be around you." I drove past that church across the street, the one that wouldn't talk to me. That's funny to me. And I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. I looked over and all I heard God say was, "Look at the grass growing up around the building." I'm like, "Okay, God, I hear you. I see the grass. Okay. Ain't gonna be ready for church now." I don't know. Now he put everything back together. She says, "Double, how many churches you have seen next door to us? Next building down. But we still here. Not that we're above everybody. It's not no arrogant thing. But there must be a season for us." I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm trying to teach beyond this scripture and I can't. God's not leading me that way. So we're going to get ready to conclude it. I really want you to we're going to have to pick this up again, but I'm not done with it by no stretch of the imagination. So y'all make sure y'all hold on to these notes because we're going to come right back to this. But for everything, there is a season. But I hear God saying, "Thank Thank you, Holy Ghost. You got to prepare for your next season in the current season you in. Write that stuff down. Good Lord. You got to prepare for your next season in the current season you in. When I and my buddy James and God, being chief architect, gave me the vision for the ministry, I wanted everything to be right in the season I was in and was preparing for the season that was coming. And there's a lot more coming as the seasons go along. But you got to prepare in the season you're in for the next season that's coming. Sister Dunbar, you got to prepare for the season you're in for the next season that's coming. Minister Reed, you got to prepare in the season you're in for the next season that's coming. Evangelist, you got to prepare in the season you're in for the next season that's coming. And this one here gonna be rough for you, but say it the way I heard it. It's gonna be you that's gonna win the family. Yeah, everything is a little rough right now. But my calling is evangelist. And the hardest people to minister to is your family. But that does not mean I'm in a season of quit and give up. That means I'm in a season of preparation for my next season. That does not mean that I'm going to push over and a yes person. That just simply means that I'm preparing the season I'm in for my next season. But I still got to yet become, and I think I was an ambassador of Christ for my family. If I can't get my family, how am I going to get somebody else? And families are hard because they like to push buttons and say, I remember when and you used to be, and then, okay, fine, you can do all that you want, but this is what God said. And I'm not going to allow what you say to push me out of my season. I'm not going to allow what people say to push me out of my season. Can I share this with you? Because if I allow people to push me out of my season, then I have to go back to the old thing that Apostle used to say. If you allow a hypocrite to come between you and God, that's what I said, man. He asked me what was some of my teaching. I told him, well, I say this all the time in church, and I said things to him, and he just got so quiet on the phone. Then when he did say something, all he kept saying was just wow. You know why we allow churches to close? Because they wasn't prepared for the next season. They weren't prepared. You ask God to move in the glory and do all this, and you ain't doing no preparing. Amen? Amen.